Africa's air travel market is gaining altitude. According to the International Air Transport Association, passenger traffic in 2026 is expected to grow by 6%, outperforming the global forecast of 4.9%. However, profitability remains elusive amid a turbulent operating environment.
One of the primary reasons why the net profit for the airlines is not as good is because of the high costs of doing business in Africa compared to global average. For example, aircraft aviation fuel is about 17 to 20% more expensive. If you look at the taxes, charges, and fees, it's about 12 to 15% more higher in Africa than the globe.
High cost and weak infrastructure are also felt by travelers.
African Airlines ticket prices are now still amongst the absolute highest in the world. And that's also why we're seeing such poor connectivity outgrowth in Africa. So it's still very difficult to fly intra-African destinations. Still, far too often you've got to fly to Europe and back to fly across the bottom of a small triangle.
African airlines capture only a fraction of the industry's $40 billion in global profits. The continent also leads the world in blocked airline funds, leaving carriers unable to access revenue when foreign reserves run dry.
Africa is the home to about 80% of all blocked funds to the airlines, which is also including the African airlines. So liquidity for the African airlines is difficult, and of course they have to borrow money to continue operating at the higher interest rate.
Industry leaders say reform is urgent. Open skies is seen as the single biggest lever for change, but it is faced by decades of delays.
The single biggest step that still needs to be done is for open skies to happen, for the states to stop giving lip service to it and to cut their airlines free and let them grow and compete. And it would be enormously good for the economy, actually, not just for the airlines themselves.
Despite persistent headwinds, the long-term outlook remains positive. Africa is on track to become one of the world's fastest-growing aviation markets, potentially serving more than 400 million passengers a year by 2044. Ian Kinywa, CGTN.